Hi everyone, welcome to week 12. We are almost done. This week you're going to be doing some revision work for me. You're going to be doing peer editing and revising and starting on that revision of your own research essay. So very quickly, before we get into the peer edit instructions, what I want you um, to know is that I understand that we are in the nitty gritty at the very end. So here's what I want to do for you, for me, for everyone. Let's simplify this assignment sheet for Module 4. So look at with me week 13. So this is the week before Thanksgiving, and you were supposed to be doing a reverse outline and a revision plan for me. So look, watch. This is what I think is going to be best for everyone, especially since the next week, week 14, falls in that Thanksgiving break, and I wanted you to have that as a break anyway. What I think will be best for everyone is to just take this assignment off and let's not even worry about it. So hear me when I say that I think a revision plan is extremely helpful, okay? I think a reverse outline is extremely helpful when you are thinking about revision. So this is still something that you can do, all right? This is optional. You can do it for yourself. I encourage you, if you have the time and the mental capacity to go ahead and do a revision plan, if you even if it's very briefly sketching it out on a separate sheet of paper, making a note in the margin of your own paper or your own rough draft, whatever that looks like to you, I encourage you to go ahead and do it. But listen, if you are at mental capacity, if you are hitting walls, if you are, I'm saying this from experience, guys, if this is literally all you can give, I want to give you a reprieve. We were supposed to have that Thanksgiving week off anyway, so that things could sit, so that you could have a breather before final exam. So I think what the best thing to do is to take off that little assignment. It serves a purpose, but I think giving you guys a little bit of a break serves a bigger purpose right now. So the reverse outline and the revision plan is not a required assignment for you right now, okay? You can still do it, but you don't have to turn it in. It can be for you, and I will still make the video on revising your thesis, on integrating quotes, and doing citations, and you can still read in your textbook, but you won't turn in anything next week. All right? I hope that's clear. I'll go over it again in an email to you, but I wanted you to hear me say via explanation my reasoning, and hopefully to give you guys some much needed space. Okay, so that being said, let's go over to our peer review instructions. So peer response, this is a really valuable tool in seeing your work objectively through the eyes of your reader. So in this assignment, I don't know how many of you have participated in peer review before, but you're going to be assigned a partner, and you're going to read and respond to that peer's draft with the goal to engage with revision strategies and create a conversation with your peer about their work to help them see it again in a fresh new light. So because I don't want to just say, okay, now go and review, I've given you some questions that you can answer for your peers' work. You are not limited to only answering these questions. If you see something else in their draft that you think you should address or that you think that you should comment on to give them constructive feedback, then please do that. But to give you a guide, these 11 questions are based off of the textbook, and they are helpful in conducting a peer review. Please understand, this is highlighted in yellow, that there is no A or B track for this assignment. So all essay drafts should be receiving the same effort of feedback. That's because everyone's paper is worth the same amount of feedback, right? So you're going to answer, you're going to read your peer's draft first, then you're going to come back and you're going to kind of look through it from beginning to end, looking at these questions. So number one, is the title interesting? Is it informative? Is it appropriate? Why or why not? Is it catching your attention? Is it on topic? Is it setting your reader up to know what to expect with the paper? Number two, does the introduction grab your attention, and does it give enough information about the topic or idea and appropriately set up the essay? So the introduction should do a number of things. The first thing is it should set your reader up, grab your attention and set your reader up to know what the essay is going to be about. If it's not doing that, then you need to let your peer know, hey, I need more background information here. I'm not really sure what we're talking about. Or this is really informative, but it's not really interesting. How can you make this more interesting for your readers? How else could it begin? When you give feedback, don't just sit there and say, hey, this isn't working. Try to give some reasons as to why it's not working and some possible ideas to fix it. Number three, is there a clear thesis, and what do you think it is? So this one's always really helpful to me because sometimes even in my own drafts, when I'm giving a thesis, I'll think it's one thing and then someone will identify it as something else. And that lets me know that maybe I've got some more things going on in the introduction than I wanted to have going on. So this isn't always a really helpful question to answer. And remember, your thesis statement is 2 to 3 sentences. That's going to let your audience know the topic, where you stand on the topic, your thoughts about the topic, and a couple of reasons why you stand there that you're going to go through later on in your essay. It doesn't have to be sort of this formulaic one sentence, I mean, I'm sure everyone's been familiar with this, but the one sentence where you have, I believe this because this, and this, and then you go through that in the order in your essay. You've got a little room to expound upon your thesis. Okay, number 4, is there sufficient support for the thesis throughout the essay? Is there anywhere you'd like to have more detail or more supporting documentation? So, is your peer sufficiently supporting their thoughts? Are you convinced? Are you willing to go there with them, so to speak? What more detail or support do you think the essay could use, or do you think the essay needs? Number 5, does each section point or relate to the thesis, and was the text easy to follow? How might organization be improved? So each section should point and relate to the thesis. You shouldn't have a point or a section that gets off topic, that's going to be sort of going down a rabbit hole, and you might need to comment on your peer's essay and let them know, hey, maybe this paragraph needs to come after the first one, or maybe we can move this paragraph to the end. Help us with organization. You want to help each other with how your essay is being organized. Number 6, is the ending creating a sense of urgency? Is it leaving you with a call to action? Does it emphasize the relevance and significance of the topic or idea? How could it be improved? So that sense of urgency that we were talking about earlier and sort of all through the semester, it's really wanting your reader to know the significance of the topic. Why should your reader be interested in doing anything about this topic? What happens if they don't do anything about the topic? What happens if they don't have a change of heart or a change of mind or a change of thought process? Why is this topic important to be related to your readers? What will it change in the present? How can this be improved? Okay, number 7. Where might readers need more information, guidance, or clarification? Do terms need defining? Are more examples needed? So that's just wherever in the essay that you think you as a reader needs more information or more guidance or clarification. Sometimes if we're talking about a topic we're familiar with, we can use jargon terms that anyone outside of the topic is not familiar with. So we need to define these terms for our readers. And remember to not expect your reader to know a lot about the topic, because you don't know your reader and you don't know what background they're coming from. So you always want to assume that they don't know. So you can explain it very briefly, summarize it for them, very briefly define it for them. Okay, number 8. How well does the essay achieve its purpose? And does every part of the text help the essay achieve its purpose? So here is something that refers to that little phrase, kill your darlings. As a writer, you're always told, kill your darlings, right? So anything we're holding on to that we really, really love, that maybe it's not that important for the essay or the piece of writing, be objective here. As the partner who is looking over this essay, be objective. What needs to be cut? What is there that doesn't need to be there, that's just taking up room? And then do the opposite. What needs to be added? Okay, number 9, we get into sort of the editing sphere of revision. Check out sentences and grammar. Does it need work? We all know it's a rough draft. What are some grammatical things or sentence things that you can suggest to your peer to fix that they may not know about? And transitions, are they needed? Are they helpful? Are they working? Check punctuation. Number 10, can any words or phrases be sharpened? Are verbs mostly active? We want to stay away from the passive voice. So make sure you're using active verbs, that the subject is doing the action, and we're staying away from those bulky prepositional phrases of, well, that's just one of them. If you can, this is funny. I saw it on Facebook. I think, son, calm down, sugar. If you can insert "by zombies" at the end of anything that you think is a passive phrase, then it's passive. So she was using, never mind, I'm not even going to try to think of an example, guys, but you know what I mean. It's just look for verbs, make sure they're active, make sure they're doing the work and pulling the weight. And then lastly, and most importantly, please take some time to address the area of the essay that your peers specified for review. So you need to make sure that you're going through and specifying that part of the essay that you need, that your peer wants you to look at the most. And that's probably where they feel most insecure. Maybe they need somebody to kind of speak directly to. Make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so I'm going to stop it just 1 second. Okay, so this is what it looks like on Canvas. So make sure everyone who submitted a rough draft, which should be everyone, go back in. Right here it says you need to go back in and either by a comment, reply to yourself, or see if you can edit your post. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you have specified a place for your peer to specifically address. You can do that. If you want to, you can email them. However you want to do it, it's really up to you. And I'm talking very quickly because the video is about to cut me off. But you need to do that, and in the post, you will be listed right here with your partner. Okay? And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. I'll see you in the modules.